Welcome aboard everyone, Simon here from the Wells of Wall Street. We are looking at Zilliqa today, ZIL on the exchange. Before we go into the chart, let's look at a few key critical updates for Zilliqa over the last week or so, but in particular, some interesting moves in the last 48 hours of a few confirmations and what that means for Zilliqa moving forward. So do check out their social media platforms for any updates that come about. So recently, of course, we've got Zilbridge launching with a mainnet. So that was announced a few days back. So very much a Zilbridge operating with Ethereum chain as well. So the long anticipated Zilbridge developed together with Zilliqa, Switch.io Labs and Poly Networks. So obviously Poly Networks absolutely huge in themselves. Powered by Switch.io Trade Hub, so the Zilbridge will enable users to bridge their assets between the Zilliqa and Ethereum mainnet networks, with more chains to be supported in the future. So fantastic little rollout. This has been on the cards for a number of months now. So bridging multiple assets and loads of liquidity going in with the regards of things like BTC and I think USDT as well. And the bridge is very much a nice little system that you can see here on your screen. Nice and easy to use, connection of various wallets and that bridging and scalability option as well. There's a multitude of options on here. For more information on the Zilbridge of how to use it, you can utilize the documents on zilswap.io. There's a multitude of information on there as well on how to use it, etc. But yeah, really excited about this. I think this is one of the key mainstream aspects of Zilliqa to push it forwards. Everyone's been complaining about the price point of Zilliqa for so long. Don't be detracted from that too much. Just realize the potential of Zilliqa. Certainly in the future, I think in the future, this project is going to be absolutely phenomenal. Long-term sort of projects between sort of maybe $5 to $15, maybe in 5 years' time at least. Even short-term right now, many people were shouting for $1 earlier this year. I'm not quite sure on that in a realistic term, but we'll certainly see some very good gain opportunities. We'll go onto the chart in a second as well on that aspect too. So yeah, nice integrations collecting here. We've also seen a lot of development around NFTs and gaming within Zilliqa as well. So really interesting to keep an eye on these guys for sure as much as possible. One of the key aspects here I found very interesting, this was quite interesting recent news. So Valkyrie US based, okay, and I believe they are kind of like a financial institution, almost like a, not necessarily hedge funds kind of things, but very much important when it comes to partnerships with other exchanges. Now, Valkyrie Zilliqa Trust, okay, Zilliqa is the next generation blockchain, is an introduction of Zimfin there as well, obviously. But what I find interesting is that these guys are now kind of paired. What does that mean? Well, there's some interesting news coming out here, for example, with the whole Zilliqa Trust that we just pulled out a second ago. But this is very interesting. So Zilliqa becomes the 6th crypto asset to be added to the Valkyrie Investments Crypto Trust. Now, this is what I feel is going to be taking Zilliqa to that next level, in my opinion. But what's more importantly of interest to me is that this trust, Valkyrie, has been very substantial in multiple other different trusts and application into the exchanges with the likes of Coinbase, for example. Now, Coinbase does not hold ZIL at the moment, and Coinbase, of course, being one of the magnitude exchanges out there, would do a gigantic help to Zilliqa in terms of being more mainstream, more focused on the awareness campaigns, but the price itself as well. So really, really interesting to see how that will continue to develop. And I think this is a fantastic move. It's quite new news. But yeah, very much Zilliqa, if you haven't known too much about it, go check out the website of it. The projects on there are absolutely phenomenal. It's been one that I've been sort of tracking for, well, certainly since the beginning of this year. Purchasing most of the tokens around 2-3 cents, I think it was. So you know, it's been good growth since then. We're having a bit of a battle, which we'll go onto the chart in a second to emphasize that point. But this, what I'm interested in, the huge pump coming, expecting new all-time high soon. Could that be? Could this bridging aspect, the bridge swap, and the aspect of Valkyrie, as well as all the other cool projects going on Zilliqa, be what takes Zilliqa to new heights? Guys, let's take a look in the chart. First of all, make sure you subscribe if you have not done so already or you're new to the channel. Welcome on board. And hopefully you can smash that bell button as well to make sure you get notified of all the videos we have coming your way. So Zilliqa has obviously had some key movements. Certainly around the 29th or 30th of September is when we had the news of that bridge swap announcement. So this was kind of anticipated. However, we continue to see resistance around this 10-cent mark. It's always been an issue in the past. We had a sort of an argument between bulls and bears around here on the 20th of September. We've also had it historically in history of Zilliqa as well on a multitude of different areas. So it's no surprise to me. It was quite funny yesterday. Throughout the whole day, my smartphone was buzzing me every 5 seconds that Zilliqa has dropped under 10 cents. Zilliqa has dropped under 10 cents. It was literally like every half hour. So it kind of showed really. And I always find analysis and certainly looking at things like hourly charts and 4-hourly charts, the fascination to me of battles, constant money going in and out to fight for a linear support mechanism. It's incredible. We had dropped below the 10-cent mark quite significantly today in the sense of a short-term aspect. It definitely was. A low of 9.5 cents. We pulled this back up to 10 again. We haven't quite hit the height yesterday again of 10.3 cents. So it's going to be a very interesting battle in the next 2-3 days indeed, in my opinion. So we've had the tail up. In fact, let's just quickly take a look at that percentage gain taken from this low point here on the 29th of September, arguably with a low of 0.074. Let's just see where we got to from here to that top part yesterday. That's a good 40% intake in a 3 or 4 day period, which I think is quite a good move. You can't go on forever, but as awareness builds, certainly especially with this Valkyrie movement, I anticipate that we might start pushing up for that sort of 10.5 cent more appropriately, and gaining that extra demand to try and support at that level. So what I've got here on the chart, let me just remove that percentage gain again. I've overlapped here a macro level and a long-term level here as well, just to give you an emphasis, and it does really kind of work in that aspect. So you see this faint blue line here that's tracking at 10.38 cents. It was literally yesterday that we hit that point, which was quite interesting based on the data that we've got historically, that was a mechanism of resistance. And we tried again yesterday, the day before, couldn't quite get there. So it's very much an area of focus here. So this mark between 10.38 and this mark here at 0.098, this small area in between is of great interest. I'm just going to draw it in so you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's this area here. Now, if we can get a close for today, tomorrow, maybe even into a third day, I think we could start pushing up for this 10.5 and try and gain support levels at that area as well. I don't want to keep seeing this wave movement with Zilliqa, but we've got to anticipate that historically it has been a while since we've gained confirmation of around this area. So I think we've had a good retracement when we got to this top point around the 6th of September. We've had a fall down here of around 46%. So that's pretty amicable in my opinion. I couldn't see us really going too far lower because we do have good historic data in lower regions as well, especially on other chart data that we've seen on other exchange databases as well. So we just got to keep an eye on this. But for me in the short term, this rise has been quite substantial. The RSI has driven to a nice middle ground here. So it's very much in limbo. As I've mentioned, that kind of entails with my theory around what I've just said about these next 2-3 days, getting stability at that line to push us up. Because in this level right now, yes, okay, we've got buying volumes coming in. The MACD has switched into a bull market approach. We got to just be cautious. Now I'm not saying it's going to come back all the way down here, but what I've drawn here, this top yellow line, I'm putting personally a buy order in at 0.095-ish, and this area down here at 0.087. Now I'm not saying it will definitely come down there, but I think that's a good choice to be having if we need to come back to test relative support lines before we jump back up. And the reason I put it down there and here, as well as a middle marker here, because of previous areas in history at around the 0.091 mark, is because I don't tend to go for the rounded numbers. I always try and think like how the traders would, in a sense that trying to go slightly above a marker and slightly below it. As you then, what happens is sometimes you get the tail off of the wicks. So you're not necessarily looking for the final point. You're more looking for, can it stretch across a resistance or support mechanism, and either side of that. So that's why I've done it. So I kind of anticipate that this orange line is arguably on either side an area of opportunity. So where we got this box drawn in here, that's where we want to see or maintain closes in the next 2-3 days. If we don't get that close and we start hitting back down to this line here, I do anticipate that we might come back down to these lower levels of the 9 cents and possibly to test that just below 8 cent mark again as well. It's not the end of Zilliqa. There's some big things coming, of course, still, even in addition to the great news. And imagine if an exchange of Coinbase's magnitude obtains ZIL moving forward, maybe in the near future, because Valkyrie Trust has clearly made it a mission to add Zilliqa to its trust portfolio. It could happen anytime. But I know that the projects on Zilliqa in Q4 are fantastic anyway. And I do anticipate some really good things coming Zilliqa's way in the future. Where is Zilliqa going to end up? Well, it's a tricky question to ask at the answer at the moment without doing some full analysis on it. But I would not be majorly disappointed if I saw maybe 30 cents or above, certainly as a minimum. But some of you might think that's too low and that we might still push for $1, which is what everyone was anticipating at the beginning of this year. Then everyone went quiet on Zilliqa, and obviously we've started our channel only a few months ago, so we haven't covered it a magnitude of times, but we are trying to do as many videos as we can. So do let us know in the comments below if you're any feedback of these kind of videos, how we can help the Zilliqa community and those that are trying to invest in Zilliqa or don't know much about it, how we can improve this our videos towards you guys. That's what we're here for. We love feedback, whether it's good or bad, to keep encouraging and improving the channel, but also improving the engagement with you guys as well. So as we said on RSI, there is a bit of a flip opportunity here in terms of either way. It's not like we're at the bottom down here and we can go, oh right, yeah, I think we're moving solidly ahead now. Of course, we had that sort of period around that 28th of September, and now we're in this middle ground. So this now is a testing solution aspect of the chart for Zilliqa. Can we obtain the support? If we cannot, I truly believe that we could come back down here, bounce around this level around here in this area, and then push back up again for the big runs up until end of October and into November. I do think really that we can push for that all-time high perhaps by the end of October as well. So this whole move isn't massive. I think it's over a couple of weeks period to try and get up there. That's why I've drawn this area. So if we can get support at this level, I think we can start attacking this and try and obtain the support mechanism here. But as you can see, across the board here, we've had quite a lot of touch points on this area, so it's going to be really another critical thing. I think Zilliqa does struggle with its support lines sometimes, really fighting forwards, and I think the community of Zilliqa is obviously fantastic. The projects are fantastic. It's just about awareness for this now, and the belief behind the Zilliqa protocol and the system. I'm staking Zilliqa on a ZIL wallet through my ledger. I'm getting ZIL, the governance token as well. Not much has happened with the ZIL at the moment, but I'm holding it just in case. It had some phenomenal activity earlier this year, going up to something like $400 or $500. So I'm slowly accumulating that from my staking of ZIL. I do anticipate buying back in as well, getting some more accumulation of it. As I said, in these areas, I'd be really happy with that. I know I got them at lower prices, but I just think where Zilliqa is going to go in the near future, as well as 4 or 5 years time, these prices are phenomenal to be getting them. Not financial advice, just personal opinion and what I believe in the Zilliqa system. Let us know what you think about ZIL. Are you holding it? Are you staking it? What are you doing? Let us know in the comments below. Weekly, we are 24% up, as you can see pretty much from this chart, to be honest. 90% down on the month. That isn't integrating the correction that we've just spoken about with this 46% reduction-ish. 6 months down 50%, but year to date we are up. It's a slow moving project, this one. Like I said, I'm in it for the long run. I think that's where the most of the big gains are going to be in a 3 or 4 years time as the Zilliqa platform improves and increases. But yeah, for now it is certainly an opportunity to get some good gains, and on the year 378% up as well. So look, there's loads of movement left in this one, guys. Just be patient. take opportunities as and when you can, both taking profits on the way up and taking accumulation in similar patterns on the way down as well. Or if you are long term and you're not fussed about these trade opportunities, of course they're always good opportunities for accumulating more and more and getting more into that staking platform as the APYs continue to be nice and healthy. Guys, we're going to wrap it up there. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you and ZIL on the moon. Take care, guys, and bye bye.